All right, everybody. Welcome back. And of course, we're on day 3. We're talking about, really becoming the embodiment, aligning and operating the cognitive, emotional, physical aspects of the new self that we've been creating over the last 2 days. And this is what really leads to total freedom and fulfillment. And I'm super excited to introduce you to Michael Dash, dear brother, whom I met in Tulum a couple of years ago, and just up to some amazing things in the world. He's founder of Live Life Activated, is also doing some incredible work in the men's field. And Mike's going to be talking today about mission accomplished, aligning your daily actions with your life's vision. So, brother, thank you so much for coming on and participating in the summit and just sharing your wisdom and your love and your knowledge. I feel really grateful to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And don't forget, an author of the book, Chasing the High.
Is there anything else you want to add? I kind of do the abbreviated and let you add whatever else you want to besides the book.
The Live Life Activated are retreats that we focus on bringing entrepreneurs together to align their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual practice. And I'm also a coach for entrepreneurs and high achievers. Personal development coach, peak performance coach. Fits in perfectly here.
Perfectly. And of course, we'll put links to all of your stuff after, and we'll just kind of circle back to that at the end. But I really would love to hear, what your thoughts are on being able to align your daily actions with your life's vision, as it pertains to, this embodiment of the kind of the highest version of us that we've been working towards over the last couple of days.
Yeah, 100%. It really starts with intentionality. If we don't have intentionality on what we're doing, and we will end up like a hamster on the wheel. And we've all been there before at some point in our life, I imagine. And for me, it happened, the whole alignment thing happened when I went through a transition off of a medication, which a couple of days ago I was talking to you about, Lee, Adderall. And when I decided to stop Adderall, I realized all the things I was doing in my day-to-day were out of alignment with what I was actually trying to accomplish. And I started writing down everything I was doing. And I just put a whole list together of my activities for the past, like the average day, for instance. And I realized I was on the scrolling and surfing the internet for an hour a day. I was on social media for another hour a day. Then I'd watch Netflix for 45 minutes a night. And these things were not aligned with what I wanted to embody and what I wanted to accomplish. They were distractions, so I didn't have to deal with the more challenging things in my life. So I would lean on those things, just like I would lean on various addictions. So this is why I developed this alignment assessment that is free online, and I'll leave a link here for everybody, that really will help you take a look at how you're spending your day and reallocate your time. Time is the most precious commodity in our life. More than money, more than anything else. And we only have a finite period of it. Yet some of us don't even have the mindset, the wherewithal to stop, breathe. You know how to breathe, Lee. And recognize that. And recognize how much time we waste. And alignment for me is about allocating and using that time, because it's precious, in what will move us forward with our mission, with our vision, personally, for our family, for our friends, whatever it is, in the most effective and efficient way. And not so you're not dumping your energy all over the place. It's very easy to get wrapped up in things all around you, and then you're just dumping your energy here. Because the world we live in today, it's a fight for attention. Everybody's trying to fight for your attention. So it's super important to look at these things in your life and be disciplined with yourself.
I love that.
It
I love that.
Yeah.
I'd love for you to relate this to freedom and fulfillment, because, essentially that's what, like we open up to the idea that, and possibilities and perspectives. And then we practice, we implement all of the tools, the meditations, the biohacking, the breath works, the movement to become that better version of ourselves. And then as we're really aligning and operating as this new version and aligning our daily actions with our life's vision, it really, in my eyes, can set us free, and it really leads to total fulfillment in every area. So I'd love if you could speak to that.
Yeah, I would say that the first most important thing is self-recognition. If we don't have some awareness in our life, then we're not going to be able to change anything. We're going to accidentally change something that might be a benefit for us. So, like, actually spending some time focused on how you are spending your days is super important. And once you have some self-recognition, then you can start shifting things in your life. Then you can start taking power back, your power back, right? Then you can start understanding what freedom is about. Because when you're in a corporate job, or you're working for somebody else, or you're an entrepreneur, but you're just so focused on producing this thing, on putting this project out, on getting this thing released, on whatever it is, and you have blinders on to the rest of everything, then you are part of the matrix. You're part of the belief system that that's how you have to be successful. And it's actually the exact opposite. Because that is not freedom. Being a slave to a company, even to your purpose, even to your mission, it's not actually freedom. You've convinced yourself that it is, but it's not. Being able to decipher what your body needs on a daily basis and what your mind needs on a daily basis is super important for you to be able to have awareness in these areas. We've been brainwashed and programmed, not brainwashed, let me remove that. That can light people up, that word. But we have been programmed to think a certain way by media, family, friends, whatever it is. And that programming tells us we have to do this to be successful, we have to do this, we have to do that. And when we're following those things, we might convince ourselves that we're free, but we're not, because we're following somebody else's protocol. So being able to design the life of your choosing, right, by bringing different modalities into it that support that, and being more efficient with your time when you're focused on, your mission, and leveraging people and just continuing to upgrade how you do things from a cognitive standpoint is super important to achieving freedom, to being able to travel the world if you want, to being able to move to a different country like we did if you want. And so, yeah, it's super, super important that you're aligned in these areas of physicality, of your mentality, mental, what you're putting in your ears, your emotional state, like, and your spiritual state. And your emotional state, are you actually feeling from your heart? Are you able to open that up? Are you able to feel? Are you able to speak to it? A lot of people can't. I couldn't for 30 something years of my life. So being able to feel those things and align all those 4 areas will allow you to perform in a peak manner, but also to have a different perspective, a more well-rounded perspective to gain your freedom back by you making the choices, not choices that others are telling you to make.
I love that. It's such an important distinction, right? You know, and again, going back to the programming, we've been so led to believe that, you know, we're leading our own lives. And I think so many of us, until we have taken that pause and maybe cross this bridge to discerning and asking the questions like, man, is this life that I'm living? Is it the one that I've designed, or did somebody else design and I'm actually living somebody else's life? You know, I'm living somebody else's dream. So, you know, I would love maybe 2 or 3 other points of how somebody can really, like you mentioned, setting your intentions and some of the tools and that sort of thing, but 2 or 3 other points, Michael, of how somebody can actually align their daily actions with the life's vision.
Yeah, one I would say is to be curious, to go back to your childlike state where you just were curious about everything that we lose as adults, and drop the preconceived notions. Because I, for years, thought yoga, sound healing, sound therapy, whatever you want to call it, cacao ceremonies, you know, any of this stuff, right? I thought it was all some woo-woo bullshit. And I shut down my curiosity. And I stopped trying things. And as soon as I opened that door back up, I was trying all sorts of different things, activities, and recognizing that, wow, some of these really resonate with me. Excuse me, like I really enjoy some of these. These are adding value to my life. They're adding alignment to my life because they're filling my soul. Like sound therapy, sound journey, whatever you want to call it, is absolutely amazing for a stressed out person. It's amazing for everybody, but if somebody's stressed out, you don't need to go smoke weed. Okay? You don't need to do that. You can, but you don't need to. You can go to a sound therapy and leave that place in the same state that you would if you smoked a bowl of weed. And you're much calmer. There's no hangover. There's no side effects. And it just resets your entire body. So I would not have discovered these things unless I was curious about them. I became curious about a retreat in 2016, and I went, and that retreat shifted my whole life. And it's part of the reason I'm here now. I've been over 20 retreats and I run retreats myself now, just because I was curious. So curiosity is a huge one, and I'm a big proponent of that.
So powerful. That childlike curiosity, which for some reason we lose, you know. And another one we talk about often is playfulness in the men's group. Anything else you want to share on this, Michael, before we wrap?
On playfulness,
Playfulness, or just in general?
Yeah, I would say what's super important is playfulness is very important. But just a couple other tips or other things that have worked for me. Who am I to give tips? I'm just what's worked for me, right? Volunteering has become a very spiritual activity for me. Being able to give back fills my soul, and it is a bucket that needs to be filled for every human being. I truly believe that with my soul, because you're not just going and helping somebody else. You're helping yourself. You're supporting your own being. So volunteering is a very big one for me. Play is super important. Everybody takes life so damn serious. I'm included. So damn serious. But that's why I enjoy my sense of humor. Others will differ with that, but I enjoy it, so it's fun. And then the last thing I would say is with the emotions, it's super important that we're able to identify and feel our emotions, because making emotional decisions has proven to be very detrimental in my life. And I made a lot of emotional decisions because I wasn't really able to identify the emotion, feel the emotion, let it pass through me. No, I would make the decision while I was at the highest emotional state, the worst time to make a decision. Business, personal life, partnership, family, whatever. So focusing some time on understanding your emotions, being able to sit and feel with them. All emotions are welcome, and separating them, taking a breath, taking some time before you react from a place of emotion. That's the biggest lesson I learned in my 20 years of being an entrepreneur.
How does just one point, how does somebody who's not used to identifying or even feeling their emotions, how do we do that?
Great question. There's numerous ways to do it. The way I do it is I stop what I'm doing and close my eyes, and I take a few deep breaths and I ask myself, what am I feeling right now? I'm angry. I am angry. All right. I want to respond to this client really bad. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take a 5-minute walk, and then I'm going to come back, then I'm going to respond. That's a way to do it. That's what I used to do when I was in the office. But also writing your emotions down when you're feeling them is also another very good way to start identifying your emotions and releasing them. When you write something down, you release it. It's an energy release. So those are two ways that have worked for me, and I'm sure there's many others out there.
That's beautiful. I love that. And to me, being able to take that pause, that breath, identify the emotions, it's the difference between a reaction and a response. And a reaction is when somebody, the outside world, the circumstance is in control of you, and a response is when you remain in control.
Yeah, that's great. I love that differential between reaction and response. I agree with that.
So, my brother, just a couple minutes left. I want to ask you, what does peak performance mean to you?
You won't be surprised by this answer, but peak performance means alignment in its highest level for me. It means that I'm filling all my buckets. I'm filling my physical bucket. I'm filling my mental bucket. I'm filling my emotional bucket. I'm filling my spiritual bucket. And I'm doing it with ease and grace. And that's really what it means to me. And that I have goals also that I'm focused on achieving, and that I'm just not out there like doing whatever, right? Bringing these things together and getting my daily dose. And when I fall off the horse, not beating myself up about it, just getting back on. Not even spending 5 minutes about, man, I didn't do that yesterday. No, just get back on and do it, right? Because we really only have the now. Yesterday doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. It's gone. We have the now. So what can you do for yourself now to attain the peak performance that you're looking to attain? And where are you deficient in doing that? And focus on that and fill that bucket and fill all of them. And I imagine that your performance levels will go up, your energy levels will go up, your satisfaction will go up, and you'll smile a lot more.
My brother, so good, so good. We could, I'm sure, talk about this all day. At least I imagine we could. So how can people find you? What's the best way to connect with you? What do you have going on, coming up? What are you birthing into the world? Tell us all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I have the Live Life Activated Retreat is August 6th through 11th in Costa Rica at Imiloa Institute, which is a gorgeous facility that Lee knows well. And it's for entrepreneurs and aligning their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual practice, or leaders of any kind. And I still have 5 spots available if anybody's interested. I also have the book Chasing the High, which you can find on Audible and Amazon. It's about my journey through addiction, entrepreneurship, and how I changed my life. And I also do personal and peak coaching for high performing humans. And you guys can reach me, my website, which is just michaelg-.com, or on Instagram, I'm at mdash1. And yeah, I would say, reach out, connect. You could also email me if you choose. Does anybody email anything anymore? Yeah, people email. It's usually like text and WhatsApp these days, right? But yeah, you can also email me at michael@michaelg-.com. And I'd love to support you in your journey.
Amazing, brother. Thank you so much for joining us, for all of the knowledge that you dropped, and just for what you do in the world, how you show up, and who you are. Really am grateful for you. Love you much, and thanks for coming on the Unleash Yourself Summit.
Thank you, my friend. Great summit that you're putting on. This is amazing.
Thank you, brother.